From Atari to Vectrex, there's one place that you can go to meet the creators, get your hands on the machines, and play the video games of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the Classic Gaming Expo.
Classic Gaming Expo is an exposition that showcases video games from the early 70s to about 1990, both home games and coin-operated games.
Wandering the show, it's like a who's who of video game history.
I did Yar's Revenge, I did E.T., I did Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Pong, it was a very simple game. It was meant to be an exercise. They didn't tell me that. I did it, and it became a hit. It became Pong.
Tron Solar Sailor, Kaboom, and Bridge. And Kaboom is a very simple game where you have a controller and you move buckets back and forth to try to catch the bombs the Mad Bomber is dropping.
Mind Strike and Thunder Castle.
With all these guys who laid the groundwork for the video games of today, we couldn't help but wonder what were some of their favorite classic games.
Defender, Robotron, and Millipede.
Centipede.
Breakout was my favorite.
And every time I see Centipede, I gotta play it.
After playing some of these games ourselves, we wanted to know what made them so addictive.
They were designed to be quarter suckers on purpose. They started off easy and then would ramp up, and these guys mastered the algorithm so that you'd get hooked and held and hooked and held.
And it's a very much like a spectator sport too, because these old arcade games are meant to be watched by crowds and you're supposed to be lured to these games.
As a matter of fact, I did a console version of Q*bert, and we timed it exactly to the arcade machine. And when we handed it over to the publisher, they said, "This is fine, but the game's over in 3 minutes," and the people, you don't want to slap them in the face with a home game.
The thing that's different about classic games is games that used these older technologies didn't have great graphics or sounds to rely upon. All they had was gameplay, and great gameplay holds up. A really good game is a game that's simple to play but difficult to master.
The good news for today's gamers is that a lot of these classic games are now available on your PlayStation 2.
We basically take games like Pac-Man or Defender, Joust, and we put them onto a collection and sell those out there.
Roger, Chief.
One of the latest games we've done is Midway Arcade Treasures. We're following that up with Midway Arcade Treasures 2, which is going to contain Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 and Primal Rage and all these classic games that, like a few years ago, weren't really considered classics, but now they are.
The type of gameplay in these things, these short, addictive, fast games, was something that had been lost in the new games, and that it would be nostalgic for the people who remember them, but that also kids who had never seen this would also recognize this.
Like the classic arcade treasures. You can play like Joust, Defender, Adventure, 720.
And I'm really happy and surprised to find out that I was right, that the kids really are going for it.
So yeah, it was really ideal, having been there and written some of the games that 20 years later, working on and producing the emulator with some of my own games being emulated inside it.
And which Intellivision game do they find themselves playing the most on their PlayStation 2?
Biplanes, which is like a 2K game. Two people who know how to play biplanes on Intellivision.
It's a work of art. Well, it is like a ballet, a sky ballet.
Before we left, we wanted to take a closer look at the game that started it all, Computer Space 1.
The game that I really enjoyed the most to see here are the very oldest games. The original Computer Space that Nolan built in the funny yellow fiberglass cabinet. That thing barely worked. It was a vacuum tube television set. I mean, this is really ancient.
So, if you're feeling nostalgic for the olden days of video gaming, and you don't want to wait for next year's Classic Gaming Expo,
I can hardly wait till the next one.
just flip on your PlayStation 2 and check out some of your favorite games from the past.